The movie begins in the year 2800 when two astronauts from Earth, Adam and Jake, are in their spaceship. They're flying over to the planet of Antares, which has a significantly large human population on its surface. The astronauts are trying to get the reading off the Earth. However, because the lower atmosphere radiation is too high, they have difficulty scanning the planet's surface and don't hear anything from the planet's communication base. Jake theorizes that the people may be dead, as they have had no contact with them for 900 years. So, Jake asks if Adam plans to tell the people of Antares why they are there. It turns out that a deadly virus has left women back on Earth, completely barren. So the two astronauts are the only hope left for humanity. Their mission is to venture to Antares, where they will search for women and attempt to persuade them to come to Earth. Adam then plans to assess the situation first before telling them. Shortly after, the spaceship prepares for atmosphere re-entry to Antares, but it suddenly becomes unstable due to the strange gravitational pull there. They're losing altitude too fast. Adam and Jake try their best to regain control of the ship, and to some extent, they do, but it still ends up crashing on the planet's surface. Adam only sustains minor injuries, but Jake comes off the worst as a large piece of shrapnel through his shoulder. Adam quickly helps him out before the smoke inside the ship suffocates them. Outside the ship, they see that Antares is a barren wasteland with large formations of rocks everywhere with no signs of vegetation. Meanwhile, Adam treats Jake's wounds, reminding him that he's a pilot and not a doctor, and injects him with a futuristic syringe that tranquilizes him immediately. He gives Jake gauze to bite down on and swiftly pulls out the shrapnel. Jake points out a dog, joking that it must be a planet of dogs. Adam dismisses it as he doesn't see anything and points out that Jake is drugged up, but he tells him that he'll check it out. As the two are conversing, suddenly, they hear a dog barking. Until now, they had believed that life on the planet was just a rumor, but with the bark, they get renewed motivation, and Adam starts following the sound. After a bit of wandering around, he comes across a primitive young boy clutching the said dog with a worried look. Adam tries to go near him, but the scared boy points a knife at him, says that the snakeheads are near, and runs away. Unfortunately, after a few moments, he's captured by the snakeheads, who appear to be women clad in primitive military outfits. One of them says that the boy is late for the sacrifice. They quickly disarm him, knock the little boy out, and take him into custody while his dog runs away. On the other hand, Adam tries to catch up with the boy, but he only sees the knife on the ground that the boy held before. A strong earthquake occurs as he picks it up to take a closer look at it. Scared, he immediately calls Jake using his high-tech watch communicator, who tells him that the earthquake's magnitude was 6.2. Adam asks for him to take a geoscan of the area and he'll get back to him. Soon, Adam ventures further into the land until he comes across a massive building, like temple. He covertly sneaks inside and gets taken aback as he witnesses many women there surrounding a hole. The women softly chant Samuru as their queen Samuru arrives. A woman named Taxon proclaims out loud to the all-powerful snake mother to receive their blood offering. Right then, a giant serpent appears from the hole, which is a gigantic cobra. Then the queen Samuru of the planet Antares seems less than impressed by the cult's work. Then Taxon calls to bring out their sacrifice, as the serpent is ready to feed. Taxon's warriors bring the cloaked sacrifice to the room, and they reveal him to be the little boy from earlier. Seeing this, the boy's sister, Dove, one of the queen's soldiers, tries to free him by fighting with Taxon's cult member. As everyone watches, Dove continues fighting alone with the woman, leading her to the pit. Suddenly, the serpent lord swoops down and gobbles up one of the cult members. An enraged Taxon orders her women to capture Dove, but the queen stops them, claiming it's self-defense. There's a divide of women inside the temple. One works for Taxon and the other follows the queen. The two leaders almost get into an argument of their own. Then Adam, who had been hiding in a corner this whole time, gets a call from Jake, which alerts everyone in the room. Taxon immediately orders her soldiers to go after him. Yet, Adam uses one of his blasters to create a diversion and flee. During the chaos, Dove orders the little brother, Will, to run, and he manages to escape from the temple. After some time, Adam and the little boy catch up and head to the space shuttle, planning to take cover inside. However, before Adam can enter, he's shot in the leg with an arrow by one of Texan's women. With the help of Jake and the boy, he manages to get inside the spaceship. The boy tells them that the arrow has poison and he has to pull it out, but Adam is already slowly losing consciousness. Outside, the Queen arrives with her army and tells Texan's followers to go away. At first, they refuse to comply, claiming that it's perfectly legal for women to kill men. Still, when Sumuru asserts that she's the queen and has jurisdiction over everything, they reluctantly leave. After they leave, the queen enters the space shuttle and confronts the males. The boy tells her the temple snake bit him and he'll die. Adam points a weapon at her, but she tells him that she'll kill him if he continues to do so, and he reluctantly puts it down. She pulls out the arrow, takes out an anti-venom, and injects it into Adam, giving him instant relief and saving his life. Meanwhile, Will is outside looking for his dog and calls out for it. Dove suddenly appears, startling him as he thought she may have been a snakehead, Texan's warrior. She scolds him about going to the temple zone, but he blames it on Dog constantly running off. She tells him to stay away from the temple guards and the village. He says he misses her, and as Samura's bodyguard, he hardly sees her. Dove explains that because she's Samura's bodyguard, she can protect him, and if it weren't for the queen, Texan would have fed him to the snake mother. If it happens to him again, they will remove her, and she wouldn't be able to protect him anymore, but she promises always to defend him. Then, the queen's guards bring Adam and Jake to the queen's residence, where they meet up while there are darker guards. Jake reveals that according to the geoscans he conducted earlier, he found out that the planet is dying, and that's why earthquakes are so frequent. He tells them the Earth has a maximum of 2 months before it ultimately self-destructs. They theorize that the gene virus which caused the women to become barren on their planet is also there. While Adam and Jake scan themselves with a small device for any signs of the virus, Will watches them, curious about it. Then, another earthquake occurs. This time, the magnitude is 6.9, stronger than before. Will explains that it was just the sacred snake moving around, which always happens. So, he asks about the device and if it's like an oracle. Adam shows it to him by scanning him, explaining that it tells them if he has a secret illness. Fortunately, he doesn't. Later, the queen's guards take Adam to the queen's chamber for interrogation. He introduces himself and explains that he's from the planet Earth. He also claims that the people on Antares are descendants of the Earth, as their government sent some people on a terraforming mission 1,000 years ago. They regularly reported their findings for the first 50 years, but after that, all communication ceased. The Earth also went through a deadly war, so they only try to find out a little about their people in Antares. Hearing all this takes the queen aback, but she nonetheless supports the claims, as their legend mentions the planet Earth. As the two continue talking, the topic of snake cult comes up. Queen Sumuru reveals that due to the continuous earthquakes, the people reverted to religion, which is when Texan rose to power. She was from a high-ranking noble family and thought she should be the queen, but the people didn't choose her, so she has been building a cult to take the throne for herself one day. As for the giant cobra that just appeared out of nowhere, Texan claims it causes continuous earthquakes and they must sacrifice once in a while to stop the quakes. Shocked by the revelations, Adam explains that the planet is dying and that everyone should immediately evacuate. Still, the queen doesn't want to listen to a man. Instead, she starts saying that the men brought the curse of darkness, so the queen leads Adam to a mine, where all the men work as enslaved people. She reveals that long ago the men ignited a large flash of light, which killed many people. From that day onwards, the women have taken control over the land, and it's perfectly legal to kill men if they're found disobedient. According to the queen, men are enslaved for sacrifices or occasionally to procreate. The sight disgusts Adam, but he's beaten up and taken away when he tries to speak out his thoughts. Unfortunately, while the guards escort him back to the queen's residence, they're attacked by Texan's gang. The notorious cult members slay the queen's guards and apprehend Adam. Sadly, among the casualties is also Dove. With her dying breaths, she regrets that she wasn't there to protect him before and to tell Sumuru what happened. Will tries to help, but it's too late. Meanwhile, Texan's warriors bring Adam to Texan's chambers, where the Serpent Queen asks him to join their cause. She kisses him passionately, trying to seduce him into her team. However, Adam refuses immediately. It causes an altercation between the two, but before Adam can get hurt, Queen Sumuru and Jake, disguised as guards, come to his aid. Taksin tries to fight back, but the queen knocks her out with a single punch before leaving. Will is sad as he still hasn't found Dog, but Jake convinces him they will look for him later. On their way out through the tunnels, the astronauts discuss the state of the planet, and Jake reveals that they have less time than he had estimated earlier. His recent calculations indicate Antares may blow up in a few days. The queen overhears their conversation and pulls out her necklace, passed down from queen to queen. It's a piece of a ship from a place they call the Burn Zone, where the spaceship from Earth landed 1,000 years ago. Hearing this, the astronauts get excited because if they can somehow reach the place and restart the ship, they can head back to Earth. The queen agrees to help them, and they start heading together toward the Burn Zone. Along the tunnel, they evade several of Taksin's cult followers. Will knows another way out, and they follow him, but they won't fit through, so they go through another way, which is a prison. It's full of enslaved men. Jake sees this and tries to free them, but Sumero won't let him. Suddenly, the Taksin's warriors arrive and attack them, which enables Jake to open the men's prison. Adam uses his blaster to shoot down the tunnel, causing it to fall on the snakeheads, while Sumero orders the men to get out of the prison. Once they finally reach outside, Queen Sumuru tells the astronauts that they still have to travel several kilometers, as the Burn Zone is behind the large hill. Despite the challenges, and Taksin and her warriors are hot on their tails, Jake and Adam decide to continue their journey. They struggle to walk up the hill and a massive earthquake hits, which causes the group to tumble down the mountain. With this, Jake deduces that the planet's impending doom is nearing. Shortly after, Adam tries convincing the queen to come along with them, saying it's much safer out there on Earth. However, she politely declines, asserting she doesn't rule the people but serves them. After a while, the group comes across the skeletal remains of a man, and when Jake scans it, he learns that the man died some 900 years ago, the same year humans came to Antares. On further inspection, he also finds out that there was a solar blast in the area, and that's why most of the men perished. Hearing this, the queen realizes it's the same flash of lights their ancestors had witnessed centuries ago. Jake concluded that the colonists blew themselves up, primarily women survived, and they just rebuilt society to their needs. Then, one of the queen's guards gets shot to death, and they now see Taksin and her warriors are close, so they continue moving up the hill. Another earthquake occurs, and Will gets covered by sand and rocks, but they quickly pull him up. So Adam scans him with his device, and Will also asks to check the queen, which also tells that they don't have any hidden illnesses. The queen asks them what condition they're looking for, which prompts Adam to reveal their true mission on Antares. He explains that she and her people are Earth's last hope and asks for her help. Sumero only says that they should find the ship first. Soon, the group finally arrives at the Burn Zone, which appears to be a giant space dome. A moment later, Taksin and her army soon follow in. Jake and Little will try to restart the engine from the control room, while Adam and Sumuru head to another room, where they find a space cruiser. Adam tells Sumuru that she and her people have no future on Antares, but at least on Earth, they would have a chance. Then, Jake tells Adam they are ready to power up the cruiser and tells the queen that the ship's quantum reactor exploded years ago, which the locals call the Light of Death. It was all an accident caused by a strange reaction to the planet, and nobody was to blame. Since natural causes caused the light, the men were innocent. Hence, all these years, their religion, which stated that men are dangerous and evil, was built upon a lie. The revelation devastates the queen, and the astronaut continues powering up the cruiser, as they don't have much time left, but to the engine's age, it quickly heats up, possibly causing an explosion. So, Adam tells Jack to shut it down and restart it later. Suddenly, Taksin orders her warriors to attack. So, a deadly battle ensues between the two groups, but Adam, with his high-end weapons, manages to take down most of the cult follower. Taksin challenges the queen to one-on-one combat, to which the latter agrees. At first, the two are even, but Sumuru soon gets the upper hand, with her impressive fighting skills. When Taksin realizes she's about to lose, she pulls out her knife and lunges forward to attack, but Sumuru quickly stops her. Then, Sumuru throws her against a generator, electrocuting her. But still, the resilient Texan is unwilling to give up. She charges the Queen with her knife, but Adam fires at her and finishes her once and for all. After a lot of struggle, Jake manages to reignite the cruiser, and it's now ready for takeoff. Soon, the spaceship takes off and flies into the air. All the people of Antares, the men, the Queen's soldiers, and even Texan's cult members gaze at the giant spaceship with awe. After learning to accept that the men on Antares are innocent and that the planet is dying, Sumeru also decides to join the journey to Earth. Seeing them without their leader, Adam feels terrible. He suggests they bring everyone inside the ship as it has enough space for 500 people. Jake tries to tell them that violent earthquakes can destroy the boat, but Adam and Sumeru are willing to take their chances. Left with no choice, Jake obliges the orders and starts descending the spaceship. Soon, they arrive on the surface, and the people are amazed to witness the large ship they previously called the Burn Zone. Queen Sumeru orders everyone to get inside, telling them their planet is about to die, so they must venture out into a new faraway world. Their new Earth will have several other people, where there will be no disparity in gender, race, and religion. Hearing this, the people become excited and immediately enter the ship. However, before Jake and Adam can pilot the spaceship away from the planet, a massive earthquake rocks everyone. When they look outside, they notice the giant serpent attacking one of the ship's propellers. With time running out, Adam orders Jake to apply full throttle on the propeller. As soon as Jake does, the serpent backs off because of the fire released from the propeller. So, the spaceship finally takes off and leaves planet Antares forever. Later, a woman enters the control room and hands little Will his lost dog. The woman found the dog on the surface, barking like crazy, looking for someone, so she thought to save it for the owner. The movie ends as they play with dog, while the spaceship blasts off to Earth.